welcome to the session. This is Shweta Roy, your English Master Teacher at Vedantu. Hope all of you are doing super amazing. And the poem that we are going to deal with today in one shot, guys, is Does Stop Snow. Wonderful poem, a very short poem, but has a deep philosophical meaning. Okay, so let's unfold the multiple layers of interpretation of this particular poem, guys. Does Stop Snow. Let's unfold the symbolism used in this particular poem, guys. Okay, I'll begin with a beautiful quote, okay, by John Milton, which has a deep relevance with this particular poem. I will be talking about that when I go deeper into the poem. So please listen to this. The mind is its own place, and in itself can make a heaven of hell a hell of heaven. Okay, that means your mind is the place which decides whether it is you are in a hell or in a heaven. There is no physical space called hell or heaven. It's all in your mind. Okay, which means you have to be very optimistic. You have to have a positive approach towards life. Now, how is this relevant to the poem that we have to that we are about to study? Let's unfold that, guys. Let's go into the poem. So first, let us talk a little bit about the poet Robert Frost, who was an American poet, okay, who is definitely known for his rural description and depiction of rural life, okay. And he was the only poet to receive four Pulitzer prizes for poetry, right? And he used to write in the early 20th century, so almost modern. So you can call him a modern poet almost, okay. So, and yes, he used to examine complex social and philosophical themes. So that is what I told you. Even if this is a very short poem, but we will definitely explore the deeper philosophical themes that the poet has tried to, reveal. Now, what is the other poet, guys? What's the other poem that you have read? Written by Robert Frost. Could you name some other poems that you have read? Maybe in grade 9th you have read some poems by Robert Frost. So please let me know in the comment section what are the other poems of Robert Frost that you have read, and how has it inspired you, how has it motivated you, because his poems are very, very inspirational and they are very connected to the life. We can connect his poems with our lives, and we can get we can we can get inspired from his poems, right? So if you have got inspired or motivated or influenced by his poems, please mention the name of the poem, and also do let me know what inspired you. Okay? Now we will be reading the poem, very, very short poem, guys. The way a crow shook down on me, the dust of snow from a hemlock tree has given my heart a change of mood and saved some part of a day I had rued. You can see this entire poem is only having a single statement. There is no punctuation, only a full stop at the end. So it's a single statement, and how beautifully within this short piece of poem, guys, short piece of poetry, he has shown such deep philosophical depth. Okay, let us see first of all the vocabulary, guys. Shook is the past tense of shake, to vibrate. Okay, shaking the branch of the tree. Okay, hemlock is a poisonous tree. Hemlock tree, please note, it's a poisonous tree with small white flowers. Rude, please note this meaning. This is very, very important. This can come in your paper as well. That is regret. Rude meaning regret. It's R-U-E-D, not R-U-D-E. Please note that. Okay? Okay, so I hope you guys are enjoying the session. If you want to join us further and have 100% knowledge and 100% marks, what you need to do is just visit the link in the description box and pin comment, and you will have access to unlimited live classes. Now, the difference between YouTube sessions and those classes would definitely be the fact that in YouTube sessions we have limited number of live classes, but there the classes Live classes are unlimited, and every session is going to have quiz questions. You do not have to wait for mentee, okay, in order to have quiz questions, because every session will have a quiz question, and after each quiz question you will have the fastest finger list, which will be showing you the speed of your performance. Okay, so the fastest that you can answer, so that is going to give you that competitive feel, which you will be also, which will be benefiting you in the future when you sit for any competitive exam. So we will be training you right from the beginning, okay, and it will help you in your upcoming exams as well, because you would be able to complete your paper very fast, okay. And plus high level questions, of course the fun element is definitely there. You could compete with the students throughout the world, so that is going to give you a lot of exposure. You will be able to know your overall class rank at the end of the class with the help of the leaderboard, which would be shown to you at the end of each session. So that will give you that kind of feeling, and that will make you understand where you stand, so that you can work on your strengths and weaknesses. And you have live interactive replays as well. Even the replays are interactive, because you would have the live quizzes even in the replays, plus leaderboard even in the replay. So that is something which is unique, guys. Plus you can download the content, which will have the handwritten notes at the end of the session. So no more problems with notes, okay. You can concentrate on your session, and everything would be available to you, guys. And doubt solving, yes, we have special team of class teacher to cater for your doubts. So in these sessions, it's not always possible to cater to each one of your doubt, but in our platform we have made this possible with the help of our special team of class teachers, who would be there to solve all the doubts that can come, okay, live instantaneously then and there. So that is going to be very helpful. Plus you have assignments at the end of each session, so solving which would be able to you will be able to understand whether you've grasped the content. Quality tests, yes, you can have quality tests, and we also give you the performance report of those tests. So that will again help you analyze where you stand. It would be having, your confidence would be boosted. You will have a very good thorough revision before your exam, so therefore definitely boosting up your confidence. Plus, you have free 5,000 plus micro courses and crash courses for competitive exams. So even if you have any problem with any particular chapter, you can definitely attend the micro course of that particular chapter. So that problem is also solved. So we are constantly trying to fill up the gap. Any gap, if it is arising, we are filling that up, right? We have lots of crash courses, guys, in our sessions. We have launched a number of crash courses, so you can definitely join them as well. And all these are for free. You do not have to pay any extra amount. So all this for less price, guys, and you just need to visit the link and use the coupon code SWR Pro. ठीक है. Now this is for session 2021. इस सेशन के लिए है pro price 1500 per month, and SWR Pro लगाने से it would be 1200. ठीक है, तो ये है तुम्हारा इस सेशन का, and that is definitely 6 rupees per class, which is even cheaper than a packet of Lays. Now let's talk about the next session. तो next session में जो बच्चे enroll करना चाहते हो, उनके लिए है pro price only 3300 per month, which is, if you use the coupon code, it will be 2640. देख रहे हो the discount. And बेटा full academic year के लिए जो बच्चे enroll करना चाहते हो, the session has, it's about to start, ठीक है. You can save 8%. देखा, 8% you can save, guys. 38 आपको लगेगा नहीं, 38,000 आपको नहीं लगेगा. What you have to do is, what you have to pay is only 31,104 for full year, which actually brings down the per class price to 12 rupees, okay, which is very 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 affordable, lesser than your solid masti masala kurkure wala pack. ठीक है, तो क्या करना है, आपको सिर्फ लिंक पे जाना है एंड यूज करना है कूपन कोड SWR Pro, and you would be welcomed in our family, guys, and we are there always to support you and guide you throughout the session, throughout the end of the academic year. So now we will be delving into, resuming the session, we will be delving into the line by line analysis, line by line explanation. Now the first stanza, the way a crow shook down on me the dust of snow. अब पढ़ के बहुत easily समझ में आ रहा है क्या कर रहा है crow. The crow is shaking down the branch of the tree. Which tree? Hemlock tree. The poet has talked about a poisonous tree. Now what we have to keep in mind over here is the atmosphere. See, look at the words like crow and hemlock tree. ठीक है? Now this is definitely suggesting a gloomy atmosphere. कभी कभी पढ़ा है crow के बारे में? In any poem, have you ever read any poem which is talking about a crow? Poems like, जैसे if I give you an example, if I give you nature poets talking about the other elements of nature, let's say Keats, Shelley, ठीक है, Wordsworth. Keats has talked about nightingale. Okay, Shelley has talked about, Shelley and Wordsworth both have talked about skylark. So you see, all these birds are beautiful songbirds. So we mainly see poems, we mainly read poems, nature poems. Wherever we see nature poems, we read about these beautiful birds like skylark, like nightingale. But here, although this is all, this is depicting nature, you can see nature to hai, okay. But what are we reading about? We are reading about crow, which is very unusual and very unconventional. So the poet's unconventional use of nature, that is what we find over here. ठीक है? Conventional use of nature होता और usual use of nature होता तो क्या होता? Nightingale, skylark. But that is not the case over here. Does the poet has any purpose behind this? Why has he used nature so unconventionally? Unconventionally का मतलब होता है unusually. Not following the basic trend of selecting beautiful birds like nightingale and skylark. That is one question that we need to answer, and we will look at that in the next particular paragraph. Now first of all, he is doing this, he is depicting crow and hemlock tree to begin the poem with a gloomy atmosphere, which is a manifestation of his gloom, the gloom in his mind. ठीक है? Gloom in his mind, in his mood. He is in a sorrowful mood. He is not in a happy mood. He is in a depressed mood. So that is why he is talking about the crow and the hemlock tree, which are in the first stanza, they are used as negative symbols. Negative symbols to represent what? To represent the poet's sorrowful mood. But look at the action of the crow. What is the action of the crow? The action of the crow is shaking down the dust of snow. Dust of snow is particles. Particles of snow. Dust का मतलब है particles of snow. So the crow sitting on the branch of the hemlock tree, which is covered with snow. So what is the crow's action doing? It is shaking that hemlock tree's branch, and as a result of which the particles of snow which was covering the hemlock tree's branches are falling on the poet who is standing just below. ठीक है? This is the first stanza. Now second stanza would talk about the impact. Okay? The second stanza would be talking about the impact of that dust of snow falling on the poet's body. क्या हुआ impact? Has given my heart a change of mood. कैसा change? Positive change. Why? Because it saved some part of a day I had rued. So some part of the day the poet had regretted. Why? As I told you, because he was in a gloomy mood, he was in a depressed mood. So he had wasted that part of his day. But this action, since it has uplifted the mood of the poet, so that is why it saved the part of the rest of the day from being regretted. So the poet would now not regret, because it has, the poet has been saved from that, because his mood has been uplifted. Why? Because of that action. तो क्या देखते हैं हम? कि वो जो एक छोटा सा very very simple phenomena of the dust of snow falling on the poet's body, even simple things can make drastic change in our life. This is number one. Number two, the crow, which is usually taken as a bird of ill omen, a bird which brings you ill luck, a bird with a coarse voice which we do not like, right? कोई कौवा, I mean कोई crow आता है आपके यहाँ आसपास, what do you people do? You shoo it away because you do not like to hear its rough voice, right? But the poet is kind of he is making this unusual use of this crow as a symbol because he wants to show that nothing in nature is negative. It is in your outlook, as I began the session with that quote of Milton, that your mind is the place which can make a heaven out of hell, heaven out of hell and hell out of heaven. So it is not the crow which is negative, it is your thought which is negative. तो अगर poet के दिमाग में होता कि अरे crow है, negative है, let's shoo it away, so then it would not, the transformation of his mood would not have happened, right? So we need to be very positive, very optimistic, and of course he's talking about nature as a healer, okay? And he is using hemlock tree and crow as negative symbols in the first stanza to transform those negative into something positive in the next stanza. Therefore showing that nothing in nature is negative, all are positive. Also showing that simple things can make great changes. All right, so these are the things which the poet is trying to highlight through his poem, through his very short poem, but look at the depth of this poem, right? So this is something which is definitely important for us. So these are the lessons that we have got from this particular poem, that even small things in nature makes very impactful changes, right? And we should not consider anything as negative. All the things which we get from nature, they are positive, right? So now talking about the literary devices, pehla hai alliteration, has given my heart and saved. So here SS repeated, HH repeated, repetition of the consonant sound in the initial syllable is alliteration. Inversion can be seen in stanza 1. Okay, that is another important literary device. Shook down on me, sound O is prominent. So here we have seen, see, shook down on, so assonance. Okay, rhyme scheme ये है बेटा. And enjambment. Enjambment is a very very important literary device used throughout the poem, because see over here there is no punctuation. अच्छा मैं इसमें जाती हूँ. Okay, let me go through. See, here there is no punctuation, only at the end. One second, कहाँ गया? Yes, only at the end of the poem there is one punctuation mark. So the entire, the thought is carried out to till the last, right? There is no pause in between. It's a single sentence ending at the end. So that is a very good example of enjambment. All right, guys. So now we will be entering into the MCQ questions, multiple choice questions, guys. Let us have the very first extract, the entire poem. Okay, so it's a very short poem. So let's see. The very first question is, where was the crow? On a hemlock tree, on the shoulder of the author, was flying nearby the poet, or on the ground? Very, very simple. It was on the hemlock tree. Okay. Next question is important. What does the word rude mean? This is vocabulary I'm telling you repeatedly. Rude, R-U-D-E, resty, regret, or remember. I have already talked about this. It is definitely regret. Okay. Next is, what's the poet's state of mind? He was in sad, depressive, and hopeless mood at that time. He was in a happy and jovial mood. He was tired, or he was restless. At that point of time, he was in a sad and depressive mood, and that is why he began the poem with a gloomy atmosphere. Next, we will enter into the subjective part of the question. The first question is, what does the poet Robert Frost want to convey through the poem The Dust of Snow? Very, very simple. He wants to convey, as I told you, little things can make huge difference in our life, huge changes in our life. The simple things can even brighten a person's day, and definitely talk about nature as a healer. And also you can talk about, positive approach, maintaining a positive approach towards life. Approach. Okay. Optimistic approach. You can, I began with a quote of Milton, right? So he has transformed two popular negative symbols, okay, popular negative symbols into positive. He has transformed this into positive to show what? That everything depends in our approach. Okay. So these are the points that you also need to add. All right, guys. Next is the 3 marks questions. What is a dust of snow? Dust of snow is definitely, as I told you, particles of snow. What does the poet say has changed his mood? And how has the poet's mood changed? Very, very simple question. Fine particles or flakes of snow, the sudden shower in the form of the dust of snow has changed the mood from sadness to happiness, right? So it kind of uplifted the poet's mood, and he felt refreshed, wanted to enjoy the rest of the day. And please add the symbolic meaning, or you can add the message that we have done at the beginning of the poem, that simple things can change in our life, so definitely make huge changes. So definitely it was through the action of the crow, which is usually regarded as inauspicious. So, and of course, hemlock. Hemlock is a poisonous tree. So the action of these two caused a positive change in the poet's mood. So please do, mention this as well. So that would be completing your answer. So that is how you enrich your answer. All right, guys. And the last question is, nature has the power. So this is basically a theme-based question, guys. Nature has the power to lift our mood even we are highly despondent. Despondent is sad. Okay? So comment on the basis of your understanding. This is basically the entire poem, right? So how small things can refresh us and cheer us. He has beautifully depicted a crow and hemlock tree, as I told you, both associated with fear, ill omen, everything which is negative. These are negative symbols. But he has, poet has used this to uplift, to make it positive, because these are their actions have uplifted the poet's mood. Okay. So how such a thing as the falling of the snowflakes from the top of the tree can have a refreshing effect of, so definitely nature as a healer. Okay. So every aspect of nature, be it a crow or hemlock tree, that can be a source of joy, a source of positivity, and helpful in, uplifting a depressed mind. So everything in the world is beautiful. Everything in, especially nature, is beautiful and positive. Okay. You have to, nature and its creation have the power to uplift the mood. It has the power to heal the mood. So even a small incident of, snow falling, that too by the action of a crow, which is considered as a bad omen or something which is inauspicious, takes away the pall of sadness from the poet's mind and refreshes him for the end of the day. Okay. So that is the answer, guys. And finally, we would be ending with a homework question, which is again very important. Please do answer this in the comment section. Small things, I have discussed this already. Small things in life make significant changes. Elaborate with reference to the poem Dust of Snow. And if you are done with this, you are done with the entire poem. Very, very beautiful and very simple also, in simple language. Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button, share the video amongst your friends, and do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And don't forget to visit the link in the description box and pinned comment. Use the coupon code SWRPRO. Thank you. Bye bye. Take care. See you very soon in the next session.